Okay, good afternoon. Today we're doing some more work on the bridge. Sorry about the late start. Just in this heat, it's like 35 degrees today, which for us English people is not natural. So I had to take a little shower after my lunch before starting to cool down and refresh my brain, bring that focus back. So we've done a little bit of work this morning. So what did we do? We separated each plank. So before this was just a solid piece. We separated each plank by a little space in between and put a little rope so that it, looks like a bridge. And this is the really fun part. So are we in the right scene? Scenes. Well, let's just, test. And in this scene, we can see that the planks are wobbling a little bit. And so at first I was like, this is easy. I can code this myself. I just need to put a little thing on each plank that makes them wobble, that makes them like move up and down. And then I realized that it's not going to look very natural unless they're sort of linked somehow, like wind is blowing on it. So in that case, I could have done that. So here's how I would have done it myself. I would have done like maybe a bones, like a Maya rigging, and just had those bones wobble, so it would sort of, But instead, I just went into ChatGPT, explained my problem. Let's see if I can get that up so you can see it. Just get that chat up, because I think this is a good example of how to use AI to help you make your games. Obviously, not using not Gen AI for art and stuff like that, because people don't like that. But, seems to have bugged a bit. Well, never mind. I used ChatGPT to help me. So I just said I wanted these things to wobble as if like a rope bridge. Each of these are planks, so could you make them wobble? And then there was a bit of back and forth that sort of made them all wobble together. And I was like, no, it needs to be a bit more like wavy. And so it did a good job of handling that. And then I could like adjust the numbers a bit so that it would wobble the right rate. And then also, then I said, can you make a move from side to side a little bit as well? And could that happen in sort of waves? So I think what we've ended up with is quite a natural looking wobbly bridge, which is just enough to kind of forgive the, we'll do the plank again. We'll sort of try and make it look a bit nicer. Maybe even give it a bit of 3D. We'll see. Shouldn't be too difficult. And so I'm pretty pleased with that. And then what we did is, so that messed with the size of the scene. And if you were here yesterday, we did the we made it so that the bridge was infinite. So that if you walked past the chunk, then the one to the far left, if you were going this way, past a certain point, chunks will kind of caterpillar, so that you're always like a treadmill, almost like you've just always got more space to go on by moving the chunks. So I had to change the size of those, and in doing so, I sort of realized it works best with actually just two chunks. So we find two chunks is actually enough to so we only need two chunks. The chunk you're on, and then if you're past the midway point of that, it will move the next chunk to your right, and if you're on past the midpoint of the chunk you're on, the other one will move to the left. So you've always got some chunk, and we only need two for that, no more. So that's what we did this morning, and I'm pretty pleased with that, and we're getting stuff off the list. Again, melting today, already sort of sweating through my shower water. But we can do this water a bit better. So what is this even using? This should be pointing to a sprite somewhere. Water. And that looks like this. And I've kind of made it somewhat seamless by crossing over the lines a bit. So you can see this little line here continues down there. But what I would like to do is something similar to what I did with the water. So this should actually be, and we're going to go into the chunk prefab. close that. And we're just interested in the water here. So this is a chunk of water. And I think the sprite should actually be... Oh, so this is a sprite renderer. Ah, interesting. So I just need a blank sprite. I guess I can do... I could just change... So I can just change the material to white renderer. This will just be the quickest, hackiest way I can think of. So we change this to this. And then we can 100% affect the color. Where are we going to get the color from? That's going to come from the map. I guess the quickest route there is... Well, actually, I think I can find it here. Map. And it will be that color that we've used for the water, for the river water. So water would be using exactly... Can I get the exact pixel? That color. Is that a good way of getting it? I suppose we can actually just open it here. Just so it's a bit bigger. Pop it on the second screen. And let's just do that again. Get the exact color of that river water. So it's the same. And if we change one, we should change both of them. Okay. And what we might have considered on a more long-term project, or what would have been a good idea, is actually storing this ahead of time as the color of water, which would probably be like actually worth doing a little bit of concept art before doing anything else. Just like just to get the colors, get your color palette early, I would say is a good suggestion. Okay, so there's our water, and on the water on the map we have these little map scenery, no map, ripples. Okay, this should be interesting. So let's try that. So we'll just pop the ripple and let's just cheekily put it inside the water part here. And we will reset this transform, and then we've got a ripple. We are going to have to move water down. And so I suppose the ripple would be -2. That's not the number I'm looking for. So the sprite renderer on the ripple would be -2. Okay. Water should actually be lower. I actually put it higher because it was actually at -40. I can remember precisely. But maybe it doesn't need to be that low. It could actually be like more like -10. Let's see how that works. And that's going to be like how big the water's going to end up appearing. Okay, so in this case I should use some kind of code. This is really weird rotations. So water is, yeah, and then ripples is there. So water is rotated 90 degrees, which makes sense. So that means on this, then up is down and down is up. Shouldn't be a problem. And I guess I'll call this ripple generator, water ripple generator. Okay. So yeah, we've got an interesting thing that this scale is ×4, but yeah, we'll just work within that because then that should match. And these, I expect, would be yeah, they should be at 45. Okay, so we can just put that in easily as we generate these things. So we're gonna have, yeah, water ripple generator. So this should store ripple as a game object. The ripple itself has the animation event handler. So what that does is animation randomizer. Did we need that? What is that? Oh, so that just starts the animation at a random point. Okay, good. And then the event handler does something that when the ripple gets to a certain point, it just moves a little bit. And I'm hoping that the amount that it moves is about right. So it just moves it to a random location like that at the end of each animation cycle, so that you're never sort of, it just has the appearance that they're kind of spawning in, but they're actually just moving around. So hopefully the same size will work for that. And I guess we want to say on the ripple generator, where do we put that? On the ripple generator, we say we're going to have a public float, or should be a serialized, it should be a private serialized, right? Yeah, like X, or we could just go distance. And this, what do? I put a bracket serialized field like that. That's the pro way to do it, as I gather. Oh, where did the scripts I was just working on go? Well, anyway. So yeah, serialized field distance. And then we would also include let's call it chunk width and chunk height, or chunk depth. I mean, this would be, I guess it would be length rather than height, because we're talking about the Z length. So yeah, length, width and length, and then void start. So just when we start this up, transform. So then we go instantiate ripple transform, so make it a child of myself. I guess we need a number, so it's not going to be distance, it's going to be number. So how many do we want? Int quantity, and we say yeah, so while quantity is greater than 0, quantity down. I guess what we want is for it to spawn. So I don't just want it to like spawn a certain amount within a certain space. They need to be a certain distance from each other. So actually because of, yeah, but I don't know if I want them exactly. So it would be like, yeah, so let's do, so it would be like, we would want a random, I could get ChatGPT to do this quite quickly. Float. So we go, while distance is less than chunk width. No, while okay, those shouldn't be 0 because they should be the, like at the top left. So if this is the first one at the top left, just assuming. Yeah, so it's like every, so bear with me, I'm not that pro at this kind of thing. I've done this in like UIs plenty of times, but just switching it to doing it in the space. So it'll be like while current xpos is less than chunk width. So we stored chunk width. But that's actually because this is times 4. Yeah, we'll have to see. So while current position is less than chunk width, and we'd have to current pos equals minus, what would it be? Minus chunk width. Current ypos equals chunk width. Except it would be divided by 2. I always put brackets because I need extra brackets for my brain to handle it. So yeah, so we should start at like half, at like here. That would be half the distance, half the width of the thing to the left. And the ypos would be in the positive half the height of the thing, half the y scale. Okay, yeah. And then so while xpos is less than chunk width, we go instantiate, ripple transform, and I think we can go ahead and go, yeah, so new ripple dot transform dot position equals current xpos. So yeah, new and 0. And then it would be current xpos plus equals, and then I want to kind of randomize it, distance random distance like by 20%, so distance times 0.8 distance times 1.2, like that. Make sure that's a float rather than an int, because otherwise it won't multiply by anything that's not a full number, a whole number. Okay, current xpos plus equals that, and then we say if current xpos is greater than chunk width times 2, then current xpos plus equals, so that, sorry, then current xpos equals that again, and then current ypos minus equals that basically. And then we go around again. So, but while Yeah, while current xPos is less than, okay, but then here, so this would actually be while current yPos is less than, if we're going down, is greater than chunk length divided by 2. Pretty sure, so like half the width. So the current xPos should be at half the width to the left, so at the beginning of it. yPos would be at the top of it, while current xPos is current. So yeah, keep going until the yPos is no longer greater than the length of the chunk, the negative length of the chunk, because we're going to go from 0 at 1, like positive y to negative y. And that should work, and if not, we'll kind of see pretty quickly what's wrong. Hopefully at least it makes most sense. So we go back over here to ripples. So the distance between each ripple should be about, so if this is at why isn't that? Oh, it's because that's that one. Okay, good. All right, yeah, so if that's about that, then the next one would be about there. So that is actually a very small increment. That is a difference of 0.005, and then on the y position that is about, on the x position, about 0.2. Let's confirm that. So this is at 30. This is at 30 point. Okay, well, should we make it 0.01? No, because then that's too close. So this needs to be 0.01. Okay, so we need to have a different distance. Like that. And a y distance. Almost made a big mistake there, which would have been very confusing. Okay, current yPos minus equals that. So yeah, we move down. So it should go like left to right until it hits the end, and then down. And so we need to set the, should probably have to do it in code anyway, but so the water would be, x distance would be, I guess I can set it up so I can easily check. So I'll do so now I'm just setting up something, I don't know, yeah, R for ripples, setting up something to generate this so I can kind of modify the stats. And so it will reset it so I can just live play with these numbers. But I have a feeling this is going to be... Is it because it's like stretched somehow? No. Water. Yeah, so it's wider than it is high, and I wonder like where compared to the camera. So I think I need to go into main game, and I'm just going to copy the camera from here, just so it's the exact. Is that right? Yeah, it should be. Just copy the main camera. So yeah, that should be a starting position. So actually, it should be higher, or the bridge. This should be. Yeah, it's more like it. Okay, so that's what the scene looks like. So actually, how long does the actual, so if we go to bridge chunk, it doesn't have to be that tall at all. So obviously that's going to be too small. Why is it not letting me move it? Odd. Alright, so it doesn't need to be very big at all. Doesn't need to be very big, so it can just be that big. So we're not going to be dealing with too much here. Okay, and should we get the... because I guess we need our chunk width. So our chunk width is... I think that's the... But it might be like relative to this. But let's just start with... And the height is like... Well, let's go with 65 and 10. Okay, so that's the width of the chunk and the length of the chunk. Height, length, whatever. And then that should be like so minus... minus half of a chunk would be, yeah, exactly the beginning. Good. 130.05, I guess. With the water significantly below, which could be interesting. Okay, what else do we have to consider? So let's do that, and then the y distance is like it was like that even. Something like that. Although if I've modified that with this height, maybe that'll be different. I hope not. I don't think so. Because this shouldn't mess with the scale of anything in it, only this should. So let's just give that a whirl, see how it goes. Oh, and also, each time we make one, new ripple dot transform dot Euler angles, local Euler angles, new factor 3, and that would be, yeah, the ripple should turn up 45, so that would be 45, 0, 0. All right, let's give it a try. for the crash. What's going on? Usually I don't get stuck here. Cannot generate. Is that the old problem? Because I think my computer's like running low on space. Okay, yeah, let's. See where I can make some space. I shouldn't be that low, to be honest. Are we talking about RAM maybe? Maybe like pressing play have I like done a forever thing? Have I done something stupid? So current YPOS minus equals distance. So have I done a forever loop? That's my question. I mean, it shouldn't have. It shouldn't go on forever. But that I might have broken everything like that. Yeah, I don't think, because I did just free up some space as well, and I haven't added anything since then. So I don't think that's the problem. That's just a bug that I had earlier, and it's probably still written there. I reckon there's something horrifically wrong here. Generate ripples. Oh. I think we might need to force quit Unity. My computer is, like, my mouse isn't always following me. Okay, let's do Task Manager. Oh dear. Is it just that my computer's crap? Is there too much, not enough space in it? What have I done? Or have I just done like a forever loop? So has this just gone on forever? Just let me have Task Manager, please. Is it Control Delete? There we go, Task Manager. Okay. Yeah, probably some kind of horrific mistake in the code, but let's see. Could do something silly like int I equals 1,000 while, and then we'll just comment this out. While I is greater than 0. Just so that we really are making a hard, like, don't keep doing this forever. I think that's what caused the issue. Some kind of silly silly mistake in the code. Right, so now that we've saved that, okay, yeah, so shouldn't have any issues. Where is the actual, is it because it's happening on 2 bits? So is that actually appearing on both of these? Yeah, it is. Let's see. Okay, interesting. So what have we got here? Very, very odd. Okay, so I think that distance is wrong. I think that's the issue. And so it wasn't doing like an infinite loop, it was just doing many, many of them. So water. Okay. So position. Yeah, so what I want is transform.position, current y x pos, current y pos, local position. Should always be local position. Was that it? It's just the local position that needs to move. Yeah. Okay, good. Yeah. So I think it's as simple as that. It's just still a rookie mistake. Okay, let's have a look at this now. Okay, so for one thing, it should be minus 45. And so was I just totally wrong about the movement here? So let's exit out. Okay, so ripple 1. 0 out their position. Okay. Point 1. Let's just say 0.1 then. See how that goes. Very interesting. Okay, so to me, this is like wildly. Why does it feel like the position is, yeah, so like, okay, let's just do, can I just, So that's... If the music's a bit loud, let's turn that off. So to me, it's as simple as this. So here's a ripple. Here's another ripple. If we want it to be separate from the next one, that's about 0.2. And if we want it to be separate in terms of the Y position, that's like, yeah, it's like 0.1. And let's say 0.2. So that should be the number. Okay. I'm a moron again. Oh, no. Yeah, there it is. Current Y pos. Okay, no. Alright, so... Really confused as to why this isn't just happening. I guess this is not pixel art. Let's call this... bridge level. It does just look like yeah, it just looks like they're not moving. Okay, but that's not the difference between point, like what, why is it appear that distance is 0.1? So let's just, okay, so can I go just 1 and 1? And is that resetting it? So that should be... I don't know why it's not resetting it. Should be input.get. Oh, bloody hell. That's why that wasn't working. So yeah, I reckon that's going to be 1 and 2. But why does it feel like... So this is my thinking. And I might just be going mad. But the distance between this and this is 0.1. Is it something about the scale? I don't know, let's see. Oh, for God's sake. I thought I did this in the chunks. So water... Okay, it does look fairly uniform though. But it's got the chunk, although it hasn't got the chunk length. Bizarre. Okay. No, that is bloody bizarre. So that... Is that still even in the middle? I guess because it's not in the middle. I guess chunk length would have to be like proportionate to the parent, I guess. But like, yeah, 65 is the width. And yeah, it seems that the Y position, yeah, the Y position isn't random enough. So we actually need to I think like this. Because the Y position, so we're only randomly generating, we should be randomly generating the Y position, so it would be so actually we want to put it in a random spot. Random dot range. There's the number, there's the next number. That feels a bit spaghettified, but that'll do. And then the other thing is, why is it like considerably longer? Why does the Y pot is that because it's like the width is based on local position? Because the water's like not actually in the middle, because it's further up in the Z in that position. But then I would think, so if we reduce chunk length, I mean we can just let those ones be, to be honest. It's not like they're not on the screen, but it shouldn't affect performance. It's just a bit bizarre that, like, yeah, I'm not particularly good at this. I'll hack through it until I get the game that I want, but okay. And so these are, yeah, they're sort of dithering around. Maybe they can dither even more. Just really randomize it. And also the ripples. Need to set the sprite renderer dot sprite renderer dot sprite renderer sorting order equals -2, I think, with the water being at -3. So it should be under the bridge but over the water. Yeah. So let's give that a try. See what breaks. So the ripples are varying quite a lot in height. So I can't particularly see a pattern of Like it looks natural, right? And we can kind of move around and see that it continues to be natural. The sad thing is we've got quite a few down here that we don't need. I feel like while it's not going to make a huge difference, a sort of quick hacky way to fix that will be for each transform, trans in, transform. So all my children let's go. We'll just after having instantiated them, delete them. Oh yeah, such good code. All right, so anything that's lower. So here's a good spot. Anything that's lower than -5. Shouldn't that already be the case though? While current YPOS. I know why. Because I'm a moron. As always, the answer is because I'm a bloody moron. Right. Yeah, because I just wasn't even using that. I was just doing 1,000 of them for testing. The test that I hadn't just made an infinite loop. Silly me. Now it works fine. And yeah, it doesn't seem like the ripples are... And you know, it's just like a nice enough background. Like, it's fairly calm. The things move. There's a rope bridge. So what the last step now is to have a little barrier. So we need... yeah, let's go to the to-do list. Yeah, new wooden floor, slightly animated. Done. Change the watercolor and add ripples. Done. And I think it looks nice. Although, no, to be honest, I think it should be like more and further back, or we should have draw a different version of the ripple. So I think what I'm going to do, let's experiment. So if we move this down to 40, let's move it way down to like 100. So the further we lower it down, the more it sort of matches the right size. See? It should be that a pixel of water is about the width of a pixel of wood here. So I think the thing to do actually I think we ought to make them smaller. And there don't need to be so many. So we'll make them smaller without getting the distance. So new ripple transform.local scale. New vector 3 0. So at the moment it's 1. So they're smaller and there's fewer of them. Well, it's actually the same amount, but just because they're smaller, we don't see as many. I think that might be a bit small. We grab one that's like in the middle. Like compared to the bridge. I think they are quite a bit too small. So what if it was 1. Is it that they've grown in scale? So if I press play, actually no, that's going to do it. So actually, I think I might just need to tell it to be 1 because it's getting warped somehow. So that's why it was, my calculations ended up being weirdly off. Yeah, see, that's about right. And that's not too distracting. That's nice and simple, and there's just not this. It's not too noisy. And just helps give a little bit more of a sense of movement, especially on the wobbly bridge. Okay, yeah, that's fun. So we got our ripples and water in. So then the next part will be to draw little little like posts. How am I going to do that? So I'm going to have another look at rope bridges. Wooden So I'm just looking at some pictures for inspiration. And essentially what we want is just a simple tie. Like we don't have like, we could have like posts, but I think just a simple like long piece of rope tie. Oh yeah, so how do they actually tie in? So they just come in behind the planks. So we would just have bits of rope come up occasionally here, like every second plank or something. Is it like specifically every plank? That might be the way that a good rope bridge works. I guess they're not all the same. I'm getting weirdly interested in bridge engineering for this task. But yeah, it is pretty much per... No, it doesn't have to be per plank. It just needs to be enough to like hold it up. So we would have like the odd... And it should be... The distance should be the same as the distance between the planks. And we're talking about, yeah, just a little rope connected to a rope. And this can be like a thicker rope. And the ropes can kind of just tie onto them, so they'll come and just do a little bumpiness. So let's start figuring that out. What kind of scale are we talking here? I think the bridge part is like 64 wide. So we should be like, let's say 96 in height. And if that's 64 wide, we should be looking at like, I guess a bit more than double that. So 128, 148, let's say. Let's do clean numbers. Let's do 150. Although, if it's exact, except then there's the gaps between them. Let's go with, yeah, let's go with 150 and 100. And let's do a very rough version. Just to, oh, that's plank rope. This would be plank, bridge, rope, handle. Okay, and just do a very rough version of, let's say, and I guess how will they connect up, especially if they're moving slightly? We might actually consider, oh, this is a bit funky. I mean, we could just not have the handles, but I'm just thinking, so it will come up there, and it will come up here as well, and it will be a rope that goes along. But if it's like rotates, but this is where we get a bit complicated and not exactly performant, but like the the ropes between. So you've got these ropes that will come up like that, and then there'll be ropes between them. And what if they were to wobble with the thing? But then that would be like an extra step, I think. I mean, I guess they're never really going to wobble beyond the bounds of the rope. And also, yeah, I'm just thinking about how they connect. Like, so we would just have like a bit of rope coming up. Let's just grab this for the colors. In fact, let's grab this and just make that a section of rope for now. So that is how big we want our rope to be. Let's rotate that. Just very much like scrappily doing this. Okay, so we've already established this is the width of a rope, and then there'd be like a bumpy bit where that ties together. And then these would sort of have to connect. Because if they're moving with the bridge, right? So it would have to kind of be like this bit would have to be on the edge. This would have to be on the edges. Kind of like that. Except I think they might just have to be different pieces altogether. Because those are going to like slide past each other. But if there was a sort of big bungly knot. So I think I might have to like build it in Unity, right? Build a rope about that length. Okay. Let's just roll with this for a bit. Okay. Scenery, bridge. Okay. Let's just say that's in the scene. It's going to vary. Actually, where should it go? Yeah, let's go into a chunk. And let's bring it in here. I think this needs to be ×4 to be the same size as everything else. Make that 45. Let's and so that would want to sit in the plank. And then that could be obscured by like a big old knot. And then yeah, they ought to, it ought to work at the same height. Let's just get a sort of rough visual on it. And let's say, because they don't wiggle that much, I just want to see how weird it ends up looking. So that, and then yeah, the planks, it's like, because they wouldn't each need the joiny ropes, right? So yeah, we're kind of actually looking at, so let's just grab this and copy it, delete it. Let's look at bridge plank. And then it's like we would kind of go through every other one and switch it off, or kind of instantiate this setup in every other one. Or yeah, so rope handle. That weirdly just kind of looks not too bad out of the box, like it's moving with, but that is a nice effect. It's just, I think what we're going to need, and I'll just do this very roughly for now. So yeah, let's do big old knot, let's say. Let's make a fresh one. Bridge, rope, knot. And it'll just be a big fat knot. Let's move that out of the way. I just want this for a color palette. And we're talking like, so if that's 64 by 64, we want 32 by 32. We'll get rid of our color reference, but that's fine. So we just want this kind of shape. What does a knot look like even? I mean, for our purposes, yeah, thick rope knot. So yeah, we might just have like, this, again, we're just going to do it rough for now. So yeah, I should have done it like this in the first place. All right. Would have been quicker just for me to draw it again. Not winning at the clicking game. Why isn't this? That's where I'm grabbing that color really cleanly in the middle, and it's just not getting grabbed. There it is. So I don't even really know what that's supposed to be, but yeah, I guess it looks like a knot. Okay. And then I think actually these handles would be -1 probably. And I think probably the best thing would just be to have this clearly in front. No, this would be, and then yeah, sitting right on it. So the thinking is, if that's there, and basically if every other we can do this in the wobbler thing. There's our bridge plank wobbler. Since we've got all of them like this, so we've sorted them out. And then we can do a one of these. So we're grabbing all of them. Yeah, we could just do it like so. That's this is like I'm unfamiliar with this because I usually use 4 each. This is what the AI chucked out. And then we say, so we've grabbed all of the planks, and we can say if, and there's something like int if I percentage. I've got it in the dialog manager. Dialog canvas. It's this magic. So basically every other plank then you want to go in and find so we've got plank rope, and then we've got the rope handle, right? And then rope handle has, so we'll just do a transform get child, so that'd be get child 2 dot, so the bottom one we keep, 2 and 3 we delete, dot get child, so that is 0, 1 and 2. Dot destroy. No, I need to do destroy transform dot game object, and it would be except it would be get child 1 again, wouldn't it? Because they'll have moved. I'm going to assume that's the case. So every other one, destroy the ropes. Might be slightly more performant to only instantiate the ones we need, but at this level, it's not going to make a difference to anyone. even on a really slow computer like mine. So did that do? I don't think it did. Did that do? No, did I save it? No, is there an error that's related? Okay. Yeah, so let's do like a little, are you even trying? So it is trying. I know what happened. No, why isn't that working then? Because we're going get child. So here's the plank. There's the planks as a list of, yeah, of transforms. So planks dot get child 2. So plank get child 2 and get child 1, and so very odd. Has it done it on some of them? It might have done. Okay, well these have merged together. Wait, are there planks on top of each other? Are the chunks overlapping each other? What's going on? Okay. It seems to have just not done it at all, which is just really annoying. Like, so it's saying, yeah, there it is, and then it just doesn't. And yeah, I think this prefab in context, like, is rather annoying. I would rather just, let's just have a look at the prefab. Okay. There's one bit I can spot that it looks like it's done. Okay, it's done it there. Okay, so I think I can ask it to do that because apparently it hasn't updated which child is which yet. Okay, now it doesn't. It looks like it's done it successfully. And the bridge just kind of because of the knot obscuring the tips. So I think all we need to do then, and to be honest, this has been a crack run, but it's kind of there, to be honest. It seems to be working because these never have to overlap, so that doesn't matter. If we could just get some. It's kind of actually, let's just put it in the middle. I mean, technically there's nothing stopping us from finessing that, but okay, yeah, the issue is that on a plank, the handles should be the same height, and they should be the same there, not skewed to make up for the wonky bit. So yeah, that's good. Okay. So this is working as expected. All right. And then on the bridge plank, we would also have another rope handle, which would be, whose contents would be over here. And I guess we have to be a little bit more careful here to get it right on the edge. Yeah, hopefully that's not too noisy. And then we do the same. So hopefully that should all work. Yeah, and I guess it just doesn't update the kind of sibling index vibe until like the end of the frame or something, so I'm pretty pleased with that. I feel like there's one thing we can do just to give a little bit of forced perspective. So let's go to, although I mean I can touch this up, but I'm actually quite fine with how this all looks. Browse physical files we want, which is in floors. Sadly, it probably should just be in scenery. Bridge plank. And for one thing, this texture is repeated, so we can kind of do a bit better there. Do we have a blank pixel at the bottom? It looks like we do. Well, that's fine, because I want to take this and move it up. Not like that. This should be off black. And this should be there, but then with a slightly, I guess this would be the darker version. So we take this. Would it be darker? Yeah, I think it would be darker. And then we could just do a little bit better with that wood texture. Let's see that. I just want it, this should give it a bit of a 3D-ness to it. Right, floors? No? Yeah, floors. Couldn't see for a second. Okay, yeah, bridge plank. Yeah, subtly a bit better, right? Gives it just an ever so slight feeling of 3 dimensions. Just enough for consistency. And there's this sort of natural kind of wavy shape to the way the things wobble. They're not all just wobbling independently, but there's a shape and a pattern to it. And I think it's quite fun. Sadly, I'm not going to be able to have the bridge coming down when the characters step on it, but okay, I'm really happy with that. We need to think about how these are going to interact, because I think if the player comes in front of these, so I think all of these, so this would be, because this should just be in front of the player, so this would be like, I don't know, -2, so this would be like 2 and then 3. And I'm kind of keen, I kind of just want to do a little play session here, just to see how it feels. Yeah, so got ChatGPT to help me with the wobbling. It's just catching up on what I did the morning. And bridge, wooden posts with ropes between on the edges. I didn't do wooden posts, it's just rope handles, but I think this level is kind of there. I mean, fun things I can think of are maybe it would be fun to have like little sharks swimming around in the water, like little things happening, but I think that really is like, I can call the level done for now. It's up to standard with the rest of the game. And so let's just do a little free play there. See how we get on. See if we have some fun. Lovely. I love it. I love it. I think it's great. I think it's fun. I think it's enough different from the other levels that it's like worth having. So pretty pleased with that today. Oh, bottom of the sea level is visible. Easily solved. What about the top? Yeah, the top as well. So we can go straight into the prefab. Go prefab, stages, bridge, bridge chunk, and a bridge chunk. It's sea, it's water. Let's just double it. And that means the water ripple generator would also be double. And then that, I mean, we could actually just draw it from there, but yeah, this should be fine. And we are working within the chunk, yeah, so that should work. Not for this run, but and we can remove, just before I forget, let's remove the cheat, just so I don't end up like tanking the game by pressing the R button. We can delete that. And yeah, we're not going to have to do our crazy delete half the water afterwards thing. That's good. Alright. Okay, what should we get? We got Rogue. I feel like I should get... Yeah, I mean, the advice that I'd always give playing this game is pick units early on so that you can get your army nice and big. Okay, yeah, that should complete our first iteration of this army. Okay, I should grab heal. It's weird watching, yeah, Yeah, the characters kind of can spawn outside of the zone, and then we just see them teleport, but we see them for a split second before the returner takes effect. So we might have to look into that. And also, yeah, I think enemies should spawn from further away. I think that's better. So like these little ones that spawn right next to me, I think they should just all spawn from kind of off map, basically, or out of sight. Crossbow, I guess we'll stick with heal. Yeah, you see, I guess we kind of want on, but I don't think this is a problem for ramparts. On bridge, enemies spawn off bridge before returning. This, yeah, as long as I can see that, because I think I already do have the codes. I have it set up that basically I tell does stage bounds, do stage bounds match scene. I think that's probably what that's about. Okay, yeah, let's go with attack speed. Yeah, I think it would be nice if all units actually did just spawn off from the right. Spawn off camera. Yeah, and I think for the bridge, so stages. Bridge. Bridge max Z. Would be, yeah, 9 and 9. So why does that work for ramparts but not for this? Okay, because in the ramparts they always spawn. I see. But if we're in the plains, so if we're in the ramparts, we spawn from spawners. It's actually only the allies. Lovely spaghetti here. Let's drop item. Character. Okay, yeah, so it should be keeping within the stage. So yeah, we'll get to that at some point. It's not a big deal. I mean, it would be annoying to end up in the final version, but it's not too bad. Okay, yeah, let's get Mania then. Something slowed us right down, and I stopped paying attention to health. That was a mistake. All right. Kind of just want to try that again, although, like, yeah, straight away we found a couple bugs and don't need this debug anymore, or these ones. And I think this can, I mean, I think this is very inexpensive code, but let's just make it every 5 seconds instead of every 2. And then, yeah, I'm curious as to why units are being spawned outside of the level's bounds. That is a bit weird. Let's figure it out. But yeah, I'm surprised that we got the rope part looking okay. And yeah, like I'd say this is good progress today, even in the melting heat. And yeah, just kind of playing this level now, I do find it a bit weird that units are just plopping right in us. They should always be coming from off screen to the right. Keeping within stage is indeed happening. So why is that like taking a second? Because when we're getting our random position, we've kept it within the stage. Keep within stage. Yeah, stage max X, min max C. And so of course, stages shouldn't be having a problem there. And in fact, oh no, that should be, well, we shouldn't be worrying about this. I guess negative infinity. That's a fun concept. And yeah, I suppose let's treat ourselves to like a build and run. Smoke while this compiles. And refill my water as well while I'm at it. And yeah, we're getting there. I'd say that's good progress today, getting the bridge levels sort of pretty much finalized for now, or at least like drastically improved from where it was this morning, where it was just a static line of bits, which yeah, had the chunking, that was good, but it's nice to have the bits wobble and to have the water in the background and to have the little ropey handle. I think that makes a huge difference, and I'm happy to say let's move on to the next level. Let's move on to the graveyard. And then there's the Demon Palace and the Scorched Lands. So yeah, I will be right back after this short little break. And I left my water downstairs. Okay. Let's do this. Let's get a combo. It kind of always makes sense to pick shield bearers as Sean, as Randar, who starts with the soldiers, because they combine into the knight, who has a shield and a sword. The shields, shields is one of the things that I feel like might be OP. Okay, we've already got a combo for the shield bearer, so I think it would be fun. Let's just have, I guess, yeah, let's get a witch for some more. I was going to say firepower, but it's definitely ice power. I need to be a bit more... Now that I've got a bit of a blob, I kind of want to not be the one taking all the hits. I guess to that end, maybe a shield wouldn't be a bad idea. So maybe shield isn't that bad. Yeah, let's get a shield. And then we're quite well set up for a block build if that happens. And yeah, I've got to write down that bug. I'm not going to fix that today, but yeah. Because I feel like this isn't... Well, yeah, it's not happening on the ramparts because everything spawns at either a ladder or a... bridge, or a trapdoor on the ramparts. But here, yeah, they seem to be spawning off and then being suddenly returned, where I want them to just spawn at the spot. I don't know why they're spawning there and then being returned. They should just not be spawning outside of the zone. Is it like a local position thing, I wonder? I don't know. What should we get? I guess rations is never bad. Bit of HP. Wondering if I can hear the shield sound well enough when it's one of my allies who blocks. Yeah, shields aren't too OP. Still, your army still takes a good chunk of damage, but it does protect it a lot. Okay, I guess since we've got range, and I know what that leads to. But the player won't. They're just going to see combo and say yes. Okay, let's go with... Let's build combos for our weapons. Combos are just super important. Just like Vampire Survivors, you got to be getting those combos. Yeah, well, this combines with two of my weapons. Okay, but yeah, let's get that. I guess let's pick soldier before. Let's upgrade what we have, because we actually ought to know what artifact we're getting. That's going to be a big influence on what we pick. Upgrading what we have, getting the latest upgrade that we can get. So projectiles are great because they end up hitting enemies that they were never intended for, which is great, especially on this level. I need to be careful with my health for a bit. Oh. Okay, yeah, so we've got this issue. We're loading in the units while he has his chat. So we're kind of not doing the loading screen anymore. I think we just iced him immediately. So yeah, he should definitely come from off-screen. I think all enemies should come from off-screen, basically. We'll see how that plays out. Or at least those heroes should, because I just didn't even see him. He just got obliterated. Need to check how much health he ends up with when he spawns as well. So I'm actually stuck in my units, but that's a feature, not a bug. Just crowd surfing. And yeah, we've definitely like we're like much stronger than the enemy at this point. Okay, knockback mana. 150% chance to drop a mana gem. So that's definitely not what I wanted. So Vengeful mana has 150% chance. And then on knockback, well, let's go with Vengeful. I mean, that's going to be OP. That's going to ruin the run, basically. Let's see. So yeah, a bit of funkiness, but that's to be expected. Okay, what should we get? I guess damage is never a bad thing. And then we can get armor to fill the thing. And we're kind of artifact agnostic at this point. Oh, that's interesting. Outcome. Yeah, so when one of my units dies, we have 150% chance to get a mana gem, which will mean we can summon more units. So that is definitely tuned way too high. I think it's probably mana gem needs to be, yeah, the chance multiplier needs to be much lower. Gonna hold off using my ultimate too much because, although to be honest, I need to be careful. We don't have any healing, so I need armor. Let my armor regenerate. Feels like my armor's taking a long time to regenerate. Player armor doesn't fully regenerate. We did expect bugs. Maybe regeneration asking for wrong max. Yes, my boy?
It changed the colors. It didn't change when not the pink and red.
Okay, I'll come and help you in a minute, okay? But yeah, we've got like an infinite unit machine at the moment because, yeah, I'm getting mana anytime a friendly unit dies. And my specialist to summon units. So that's an infinite unit machine. Hmm? I do quite enjoy the crowd surfing, actually. Seems like some of my units aren't dying over there, so we might have hit a bug actually. Or are they just incredibly low on health? Or should they actually be dead? That's the question. Or is their health just not displaying correctly after getting rations? I mean, when this works, I think it would be quite an enjoyable thing just to sit here and crowd surf. But at least the level looks nice. I'm happy with it. We've got the little water. It's just not nearly as simple as it was before. But yeah, there's no way she's alive. So there's something wrong with something. I don't know if a bug happened or... But next time we'll play in-game. Yeah, and even those orcs aren't quite dying. So there's got to be some kind of bug happening. Some of these units are just refusing to die, probably because something bugged out. But okay, that's a good start for the day. Well, good finish for the day. Bridge, kind of done basically. I can move on to war camp, just get all the levels done, and then can get back to the bits I enjoy more. All right, so thanks everyone who joined today. Not too many people, but if you're watching after the fact, thanks you very much. And have a good weekend. See you on Monday. Cheers, bye.